so glad we're doing this. No, for real, I am. I'm so excited.
You are currently watching Evolve. I have my boy Johnny.
So,
and I have my girl Ja. And today we're gonna just talk about real talk. So just sit back and enjoy. So first things first, how are you guys for real? Like
me, okay. I think overall, I'm good. I mean, life is life, but it's not hard necessarily. I'm working through it.
I feel like I'm kind of coming out of like a bit of a just one transition because I feel like we all transition so many times. So I feel like I'm coming out of one and now I'm in a place where I'm kind of like cruising a little bit. You know what I mean? At least to the next to the next thing. So I feel like things are they're good. They're looking up, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Because life be lifing. Mm-hmm. But I digress.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming along.
Yeah. That's how I feel too. No complaints.
Right.
What started you guys on your journey to transition to where you are now?
For me, it was I had I guess what people would consider a good job. I guess I was making competitive pay for this area. But it still wasn't enough. Like I was working so much overtime, and it was like either I had money but I didn't have time, or I had time but I didn't have money. So I just said I had to figure something else out. So kind of dropped everything and went on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I feel like I went through several, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Different things and different transitions. And I feel like we all do, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like my biggest one was I was also going through like a spiritual evolvement all at the same time. Right. And it was like, that's when I learned the most about myself and how I wanted to like exist. You get what I'm saying? Like, what did I want like my life to look like? You know what I'm saying? And I was dealing with a lot of like anxiety and like all kind of stuff. And it was just like, I felt crazy or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? But the cause I'm a visual person. So like a lot of times like I'll see things and how they're supposed to be and how it's going to go and how, you know what I'm saying? But it'd be way ahead of the time.
Right.
So it's like, it drives me, but at the same time, it'll literally depress me because it's like, I know that my current reality is not what this is going to be, but I got to do it. You know what I'm saying? I got to do this and I got to get through this part. So like for me, it was just like, I didn't have any children at the time. Mm-hmm. And so I was going through like a lot in life. Just life was just doing, you know, and it was just like I said, I was going through a spiritual enlightenment as well. And I was realizing that a lot of the things that I thought I knew or that I, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was just mentally is what made me do it because I was in like the darkest place that I felt like I had ever been in life. And it was just like, what we got to do to make this work? Mm-hmm. So that's what, like, you know what I'm saying? That's what did it.
Yeah, I have to agree with you when you say like, I was in my darkest place of my life. And that's what started me to be on my journey of, okay, something has to change. Mm-hmm. I can't be stuck here forever. And so sometimes I still deal with those rough days. Mm-hmm. Like I told y'all from jump, I feel like this week was probably like a tough week for me, but I got over it. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel like just learning yourself and learning, or let me just say being aware of yourself. A lot of us don't take accountability of being self-aware.
Because you have
to when we are transitioning. Because if you're not self-aware, like you said, I'm going to feel crazy.
Mm-hmm. You get caught up in like the whirlwind of life. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, hold on, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. What's going on here? Right. What's being taught here? You know what I'm saying? And that's when I like the first couple transitions, it was more so of me like, okay, it's almost kind of like when you learn how to walk or you learn how to do something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hold on, like you fall a couple times and it's like, okay, now I know what to do when this happens. Now I know what to do when like I'm feeling unsettled and I'm feeling uneasy and I'm feeling like, you know what I'm saying? And unfortunately for me, I feel like I have a constant like drive to want things to be better. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And it's just like, it's okay for it to be like it is right now. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that was a current lesson for me too, because it was like I was going through a lot all at the same time.
Don't be talking about me on camera. No, just
Johnny, you know, baby. Maybe a lot changed in 90 days.
That's why don't be talking about me on camera because that's me. And a lot of people always saying, "Oh, you got your hands in this, you got your hands in that," and I evolve, but my transitions go back and forth. Because recently, one of my customers messaged me and she was like, "You got the face mask?" And so I'm like, I really don't want to do it. I didn't. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want to make it. So I was like,
be like that.
She was like, "But I'm down the road, like you know, I'm about to get my head in, you know." So I'm like, okay, let me see. She said she wanted 4. I went in there. I made up the stuff, but I only had enough for 3. So I'm like, okay, I only got 3. I'll make it 4th one later. But then I ended up posting about her. Then other people started messaging me and all of that stuff like that. So it made me get back to that, you know, my cosmetics. And then this morning I'm trying to figure out the stuff with my bag. So it's just like I kind of be like back and forth or whatever. So even when I'm having like that tough moment, I'm still busy. I have to still stay focused.
And you know what I just thought
business.
about? That's also, I just thought about this. I hope I don't move too fast. But like that also being self-aware too is realizing when you have like a calling over your life or you're anointed for some people, you know what I'm saying? It's different. You get what I'm saying? And it's not going to make sense to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to make sense to a lot of people to see you bouncing around and having your hands in different things. You get what I'm saying? But that's because my overall purpose and the impact that I actually am going to make is not small, baby. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's a big thing too, to know that that's also a part of, I feel like, the transition and the heaviness of the transition is knowing that like going somewhere, but like, it sure don't look like it.
It just feel like I'm stuck.
It sure don't look like
learned
it.
To like, I'm gonna say overanalyze, but like analyze every transition, every situation, every scenario. It's like, what am I getting out of this? Or why was I here? Like, because I know on a grander scale, my purpose is to help people. So I'm like, okay, well, who did I help in this particular season of my life? I kind of just
I feel like all 3 of us are
way.
servers. You know what I'm saying? In our own way of that. You know what I'm saying? You have some people that are like, I feel like, I know for me personally, I run from it, but I know a lot of my like purpose is to speak. You know what I'm saying? It's to like use my voice or use, you know what I'm saying? To help people and make people, you know, make my impact on life. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my purposes anyway. But I also feel just like, I feel like all 3 of us have that. All 3 of us are meant to serve here in some kind of way, change humanity. You know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes people get caught up in what that's supposed to look like. You know what I'm saying? Like what is like, I have this idea of what it's supposed to look like for me, but then it's like,
that ain't it.
That ain't it. That ain't what it's going to look like. You might do that, but that is not what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? That's just like, even for me, for nails, same thing. Like, I know that I'm supposed to do nails, but that ain't the all that be like, you know what I'm saying?
And even with me, recently, I'm not sharing the whole thing, but I am going back to school. But recently I realized, I said, I don't want to do social work no more. I don't want to, this is not my calling. I graduated from one thing.
At least not college. The way that you think it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a form of it, but it ain't going to be that
way.
Yeah.
And so I said, I don't want to do it. I woke up one morning and I said, I don't want to do this no more. I love it. It may, my purpose might not be specifically where I am, but this is not it. I was like, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. This is what I graduated from school for, and I wanna do that. I feel happier when I'm doing that. I'm not saying that I'm not happy where I am,
but it's not fulfilling.
It's not fulfilling my spirit, my soul. It's just like I'm doing this because I need to pay my bills. I need to do this. It's not that I'm happy,
and that's a transition in itself too.
And so that's what I'm saying. So it's like tough, just everything just on me, because it's like, well, why didn't you do this before? And like I was just thinking, just small words that people say. When I did my interview for school, and the lady says to me, she says, I said, well, I should have just did it, that way, whatever. And she was like, no, it's not in a specific way to do it, So that kind of stuck with me too, because I was like holding myself down after the interview, like, well, dang, like other people that I know that's in my same field, they're there. Behind, but I guess you can't kind of look at that too. Like you said, what does it look like? And it's just like, okay, I can't say what does it look like for other people for me. So sometimes I think that too. Sometimes I'm like, well, dang, I slacked.
Because we laugh and joke and say favor, but favor ain't fair. It's different.
At all. I'm gonna tell you, I was saying, wow.
For real.
Even with that, I said I was a big procrastinator too. So I have to put that back on myself, because when I did look back, like at school, and then I had an email. My cousin actually made me find the email because she was trying to figure out some stuff, and so it hurt my feelings because I looked back at the email and it was like 2017. And so it was something that I was supposed to been do. I had the codes and everything that I needed right there. 2017. It's 2023. So what was I doing?
And time does go by fast.
It had to be something that you needed to be doing at that time that was more fulfilling. Because the thing is, if we get to something too soon, we mess it up.
Okay. I understand. I understand that.
And it also things that you needed to learn before you got to this point. Because I think about that too. I'm like, okay, well, had I been in the position that I'm about to be in now, right out of high school,
I probably would have failed because I
would have messed it up. Like I would.
Just imagine if okay, let's just say just think about the things you've been through in the last 6 years. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm just saying. No. I'm not saying specifically.
Just in terms of trials and tribulations.
Come on, let's do it.
Not specific details.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Had you had what you wanted, you know what I'm saying? Would you have been able to maintain it and sustain it with going through whatever you went through in the last 6 years? You know what I'm saying? So that's why things don't always happen. Because I know for me, like looking back on like my nail journey, I see a lot. Like I wish I would have did nails in high school when I first started doing it.
Would have been rich by now. Institution.
Maybe I would have been chilling nail school, all that. You know what I'm saying? But it happened at the perfect time for me because my life transitioned a lot in that time period. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately with like, me losing my dad and like all that kind of stuff too. So it served the right purpose, because if I would have still been in the mindset of working a 9-to-5 job and going through the things that I was going,
wouldn't have worked.
It wouldn't have worked. I wouldn't have been able to keep no job, baby. Yeah. So the fact that I was doing nails, how I was doing nails at that time, it was perfect because I didn't really have clientele like that. So I really kind of had time to have the mental time that I needed to. Me and Johnny had a minute, 2, 3, 4 hour conversations. You know what I'm saying? So I needed that time to build and replenish myself on a internal level. You get what I'm saying? To even be able to maintain a business.
So I just thought about something, but we're not going to go into detail. I'm just going to say my piece on it. But even like how you asked, like what initially started the transition, even though yes, around that time, it was like, me just realizing like money and stuff. Also, that was like right out of me coming out of, the marriage, and because in that moment, it was like, okay, I had everything, like the American dream. Like, you married, you got the house, whatever.
On paper, it looked good.
Coming in, right. On paper, it looked good. But I'm like, is this it? Like, and even in its totality, for me, it wasn't enough. So that's what kind of really made me reevaluate. And it's like, okay, well, what do you actually want? Because you had it, what you thought you wanted, and it's not what you
That's
want.
a slap on the back of the neck with the sandal too. For
So
real.
that
Now,
really
you had
made
what
me-
you thought you wanted. Now let's go back to what you were supposed to have in the first place. Yeah.
And I think too how we're talking about like, if we were able to like have these 6-figure, careers or businesses right out of high school, like it's things that we have to go through so that we can learn to appreciate them. Because there's so many successful people that are chasing money, but they're not happy. And it shows because they spiraled out of control because they don't have a purpose. So I think
you don't have a strong, stable foundation too. Because
So I
once
think-
you like, there's certain things like we mentioned earlier, like you were saying that I'm now a social butterfly, and that's how a lot of people see me. But I was not always like that. You know what I'm saying? My friends were popular. Everybody knew my friends, but
yeah.
because I was shy. You know what I'm saying? And I still am a little piece, but yeah, it's just different times serve different purposes, and we have to find the beauty in all of it. You get what I'm saying? You have to accept where it is. And it, and when in hindsight, appreciate, because I know for me, that's taught me that's humbled me in a lot of situations when I wanted stuff, you know what I'm saying, to go my way. And then I look back at it when it's, transition and change. It's like, okay, I see why that didn't go how I wanted it to go, so that this was able to happen. Yeah.
And that's why, people, of course, ask, oh, well, do you regret getting married? And I'm like, no, I don't regret getting married because I learned what I was supposed to learn. And had it, I feel like, because I know that it was something that I needed to go through at that time, had it not been with him, it would have been with somebody else. So I'm like, for better or worse, it is what it is. And, you learn and you move on from it. I'm not going to do this to me.
Because
no, but that's a true statement, friend. I'm just,
it is.
I'm being a little petty. But no, on a serious note, though, honestly, a lot of the relationships that we have, like especially the intimate relationships that we have, they do teach us a lot about who we are. You know what I'm saying? Especially
who they are, honey, not who I am. I knew who I am.
See, for me personally.
I'm just.
It did teach me a lot about. I feel you. It did teach me a lot about who I was and what I wanted and what I didn't want. You know what I'm saying? Because when you go through certain things and it sting a little bit.
It can't sting, baby. It burns.
It teaches you whether you want to deal with something like that or you don't, or how you're going to deal with something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's why for me, my worst times are also my best times, because I learned some of my best lessons out of those moments. You know what I'm saying? And, who's to say if certain things didn't happen, certain things,
Right.
So
I think people feel like, or it's portrayed that you have to experience a great relationship to know what a great relationship looks like. And I don't think that's true. I feel like a bad relationship can teach you just as much as a good relationship can.
It absolutely can.
Because now okay, well, I don't want to go through that. I don't want to experience that. That's a trait that I'm not willing to put up with. We're not doing that. So it kind of gives you a blueprint, but on the reverse scale of what you want. And then also, like you said, it does teach you a lot about yourself as well. It's like, okay, I can kind of see how I played my part in this. I can kind of see why, A led to B, led to C. And, you make the adjustments if you don't want to repeat the pattern. But so, yeah, I feel like overall, if you're paying attention, it can teach you just as much as a good relationship can.
Yeah. Or you can at least appreciate the relationships as much. You know what I'm saying? You can appreciate the bad relationship just as much as you appreciate the good one, just because of the fact that if that had not worked out the way it would have, I wouldn't have had this. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I mean? Because I feel like it's,
No, I understand. I understand where you're going with it, to appreciate those relationships and those moments from your past. How do I say it without being? I guess I'm not saying it to be trying to be mean.
You're not trying to be shady or nothing like that.
But in those times, I feel like the people that you deal with, they hadn't really found themselves, and so those times get brought upon you. So,
yeah, and how all the experiences intertwine together. Yeah,
right. So
that's
so
why,
you
like,
get what I'm saying?
even with
make
me
it
and
like-
John, like me and Johnny talk about it all the time.
Right.
Like, dang, why we weren't never friends way before this? Like,
Right.
we're you know what I'm saying? This is
That's
this is
what
my
I'm saying. I'm
person.
trying to
okay?
make it like, so
But
it don't
at
sound
the same
crazy.
time, had we been dealing with each other or had we been friends prior to certain transitions in our life, we might not have been able to stay friends. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, it's just because you go through certain shedding processes. You know what I'm saying? Certain people were meant to be there at those times.
Right.
And then there's certain people that, you know what I mean? You gotta go. You've got to go.
Gotta blast. I like when you say the shedding process, because I felt like now that you say that and just processing the word shedding, it opens. It's not broad to me. Saying shedding opens up, you know, a lot for me, and it actually making me like process things.
And
Just
perspective is very important.
Right.
Is very important because there has been times where I could have been engulfed in the actual situation and the circumstances and the physical reality that I had going on. But what I've learned is that I really can shift the perspective and open my mind up to you know what I'm saying, what's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And being able, like you said, to be more self-aware. You have to. You have to be intentional about it too, because if you don't,
right,
that cycle starts, you know what I'm saying? And it happens fast.
Right.
And you spiral quickly. You know what I'm saying? I know for me, I don't know about nobody else, but I have been, you know, a lot of people feel like if you haven't been through something that people can actually see, or nobody's seen you go through it, that you ain't been through nothing. Ain't nothing happened to you.
Right.
Baby.
Right.
This is why I set boundaries in my life now. And I know I don't want it to seem like it's trying to control somebody or control someone that I'm with or control friends that I'm, you know, around. I just set boundaries for my life because, like you say, your shedding process. I've been there before. I don't want to go through that. And if you can't understand the boundaries part of my life, then you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it would be any hard feelings, but I'm okay with you leaving or us not talking or things.
If we can't come to a point of compromise.
If you can't compromise with everything that I have going on. But like I said, that's my main thing on why I set boundaries for my life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what's supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't went through stuff for nothing, baby. That's what I have a little bit of a lesson that I'm dealing with in life at this present moment. And sometimes you are tested based on knowledge and wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you know this, but how do you apply this in life in different situations? You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, you know how to apply it in this situation, but how you apply it in this situation. But but standing on the same moral and the same principle. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
If it's the same thing, and that's really how you feel, because I feel like, and I've been tested on certain faith-based processes that I have, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, if you believe that, then why you don't believe it for this situation? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If that's really
true.
how you feel about it, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like that also, just because it goes back to the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It might not look like that for you or for you or for me, but that doesn't mean that it's not the same.
And it's like, I tell people all the time, and it's like, oh, why I keep dating these particular type of people. And I'm like, okay, so what do you want? They're like, oh, I want somebody that's this, they got this, and they got their stuff together, and I want them to match, you know, what I'm putting out or whatever. And I'm like, okay, does that sound like the type of people that you date? No. Okay, so what is it in you that's telling you that these men are okay? When you're saying that this is what you want,
how are you ended up? How are you?
Like, oh, it's the man, it's the man, it's the man. I'm like, no, it's the men that you allow into your space,
right?
And then they're like, oh, don't worry about it.
Because when you're used to a certain type, people keep going for that type, or you've got introduced to something, and that something isn't really what you want, but you're so used to it, you become accustomed. So that's how I feel like a lot of females or males
people in general
end up into situationships because of that, because they've become accustomed to a certain
that makes
thing.
sense.
So I just feel like when you
have to know when, like you have to be able to identify, like, okay, starting to look real familiar.
Right.
This baby. This is starting to look a little bit familiar.
Once it start being familiar to a person, they start
acting out of that. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm starting to treat you like the trauma that reminds me of. You get what I'm saying?
Then it becomes
it kind of taints the situation.
Yeah, it puts you back into that a repetitive situation. It comes over and over, and that's why you keep talking to the same dudes, because it's not that it's them; it's a trigger.
So funny thing, right? So when I was in therapy session the other day, and I don't know how we got upset, but we were talking about a particular person, and I was like, that's not personal. I just don't like that particular person. And he was like, that's personal. I was like, not you checking me. And then he was like, so who does that person remind you of? And I was like, shit. And then I went to thinking, and I was like, okay.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. Now we're getting there.
But I think that's why I feel like it's triggers. It could be a certain person could trigger you. They may have very well not have done anything to you.
It's not even been intentional.
Like that person may have said something and it reminds you of that. Oh no, I don't like you no more. I don't F with you.
Because baby, that's when that switch flipped in my brain.
It's done.
It's hard to unflip it.
I'm definitely a switch, baby. Right. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a switch.
It's hard for me to flip the switch.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. For real. Because I also feel like my brain is very open-minded. You know what I'm saying? So just don't play with me.
Don't play with me.
Just don't
play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with
it. Just don't.
So how do you know when you found yourself? Like what's some things that has happened? I don't think I've fully found myself because I'm still going through I'll call it minor anxiety situations. So I feel like I personally have not found myself just yet. I found something for myself, but I don't feel like I truly know myself and who I am. I don't
feel like that's a final destination though.
Yeah.
I don't really feel like that's a final destination because we have so many facets and so many parts of who we are. You get what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that, that's no longer who you are. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's just a part of who you are. That's a part of that, you know what I'm saying, of the overall journey. But like, I feel like when you know, at least for that time period, it feels peaceful. It feels settling. It feels fulfilling. You're not searching for something. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I feel like we're all on a constant search of who we are. And you know what I'm saying? But not to say there aren't people who actually find it. Because I feel like people actually do end up finding their because I feel like it's more of a balance or a rhythm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it might not look the same all the time, but it's still the same. You know what I'm saying? Once you find, okay, like these are the things that work for me. Right now, these are the things that I'm needing to make that work. You know what I'm saying? And then tomorrow it might look different. And I feel like because I know you talked about like, anxiety and things like that. And I feel like it's becoming a more standard conversation, you know what I'm saying, now for us all. But I feel like it's just a part of who you are. You get what I'm saying? Everybody has their own little tics and triggers and things that they, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like you also can find peace in the fact that you are at least aware. And this is me speaking to you directly. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is me, something I need to tell you. I feel like it is okay, you know what I'm saying, to have those triggers and have those things that kind of, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that you are aware of it is powerful in itself. Because there are a lot of people who are living and don't even know that they have triggers in the first place. You get what I'm saying? So they just out here just acting. And this is the way I've always been. This is how I've always done it. This is what works. No, it's not. It's not working. So the fact that you even are aware that you have those triggers and that you have, and that you're intentionally working on them and, you know what I'm saying, doing whatever you need to do to get it done, I feel like that in itself is powerful. You know what I'm saying? That in itself will actually ultimately one day get you to the place where you're in the balance with your anxiety and how it works for you. But I feel like because part of your purpose is to help other people with theirs, yours is going to have to be a little bit more intense. You get what I'm saying? Yours is going to have to be something that is a little bit something that is a little bit more troubling and a little bit more challenging, because you're going to meet people that have it a little worse off than some other people. So I feel like I learned that your experience is how you're going to be able to impact other people. I can't tell you about something I don't know nothing about.
Correct.
You get what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like people that have the purpose to help other people, you're going to have to feel it a little bit harder and a little bit deeper in order to be able. Yeah.
It don't be just it be
because you have, that's part of it though. Like anxiety is being able to feel. You get what I'm saying? And for some people, it's overstimulating. You get what I'm saying? It's overstimulating to be able to feel so much all at one time. And I feel like you just have to give yourself grace in those moments. You know what I'm saying? Because you're feeling a lot. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Your purpose is a lot.
I think people, because y'all know I'm very literal. So I think people don't really understand or don't take things for what it is. Because I mean, when you think about it as far as like mental health, okay, depression. Everybody gets depressed. Whether it's seasonal, situational, everybody has anxiety. It's a state of being anxious. We're all going to go through it. So, and as far as like life itself, the way life is structured, going through life without going through anything is unrealistic.
Right.
So you're going to have some sort of trauma because trauma is perceptive. So to think so to think that you're never going to go through anything, you're never going to experience anxiety, you're never going to experience depression. Depression is an emotional response to something that, you know, you think is sad or that your nervous system is trying
I've
to
used
protect
it as like, that's me personally. I use my emotions as, hey, you know what I'm saying? Right. I don't know if that's what you're trying to say or not, but like I use my emotions as a way to, okay, something's not right. Some type of discord is happening at the moment. You get what I'm saying? Right. I don't know if that's the direction you was going with that, but that's kind of like
sometimes even with the mind, it sometimes it's just me overthinking it. It may not even be nothing wrong. It's just so weird how my brain just works and I cannot control it. And that's where I feel like my F up is. Because I'm not understanding at the moment.
But you may be a person that need actual like religious practices. I feel like that they're not saying that you don't have a spiritual practice or a religious practice, but I feel like because you feel anxiety more, you have to do religious things, like things that are on a consistent. You get what I'm saying?
I started going to church like.
No. I don't mean church wise. I don't mean like. Some type of routine or practice. You get what I'm saying?
I'm in you now.
You get what I'm saying? Some type of routine. But it has to be tied into your spirituality in some kind of way, though, because that's a stronger, you know what I'm saying? That's an anchor that we're able to ground ourselves in the moments where we feel like everything is like, you know what I'm saying?
But that's what I was going to say. And I think with that being an inevitable, I feel like people need to stop treating it like it's this foreign concept. And stop trying to run from it. And like you said, when you can understand something, then you know how to handle it. And when you can handle it, you can maintain it. Right. And you won't be so taken aback when you start to feel something that's natural.
Yeah.
That's what I said recently, like when the thing, I was just like, oh, I did like start going to like church and stuff like that because I feel like if I could get myself in that place to try to learn more about certain things, it could help. You know what I'm saying? Help me get through certain things. But I get what you're saying. Like, I need to actually...
You have to have a routine. Because I know for me, that's what I learned about myself. I didn't even know this about myself, but I learned that, like, I need things to be set up. You get what I'm saying? Because if I don't, things go in a disarray.
Mm-hmm.
Baby. Things go bonkers.
Yeah.
So I have to establish different routines and different things. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Has nothing to do with y'all.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You have to. I feel like just you have daily routines that you do when you wake up in the morning. This is that. But you have to find a routine for your wake up in the morning. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you get what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
Like you have to find like, okay, so if I, you know what I'm saying? Even preventative measures. Not always when something happens. This is what I do. You have to already just have a routine in place so that when it does, when you do kind of go off some mornings, that'll already be in place to bring you back into what it is that you need. You know what I'm saying?
And to kind of help more people, that's an introvert thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have to have systems. We have to be predictable because when we're not predictable, chaos.
Right. We feel out of control.
Right. We need systems in place so that we know when this happened, okay, this is what we need to do.
Right.
When things are not going right, this is how we get back in alignment with, what we need to be doing.
I agree. I have to agree with it. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of us don't realize how much time we need by ourselves.
That's a fact.
There is a lot. I personally, through a relationship, realized that I am a person that needs time by myself. I feel like we all do. You know what I'm saying? As much as you love your significant other, as much as you love your children, as much as you love your people that you have to be around on a daily basis, you have to have time to make sure that the thoughts, the feelings, everything that you're feeling is actually even yours to feel in the first place. You get what I'm saying? Because sometimes you take on other people's stuff and it's like, hold on, that ain't even my business. Like, that ain't got nothing.
Now I'm over here overthinking about your problems. And I'm
stressed out about my own problems because I'm worried about, you know what I'm saying? Or that transfer of energy is real and it's a big thing. Like because you are an empath. I know I am. Say that, You know what I'm saying? Because I feel so much, like I be baby.
Well, that's why I tell people all the time, like, everybody always trying to ask me, like, oh, you want to do this, you want to do that. I don't really fuck with people like that. And that's for real. Because
seriously,
I'm genuine too.
I'm gonna tell y'all no lie.
So I can't deal with the half-assing.
Because I'm telling you, somebody was telling me about some thoughts that they was having, right? No lie. Telling me about some thoughts that they were having. So you're talking about it. Okay. Now, the problem I had was I go home. Couple days later, I'm having those thoughts. Hold on, baby. Wait a minute. So I be feeling like I can't be around certain people. Yeah, and that's when I was saying I don't want to talk to people about their issues anymore. It wasn't to hurt anybody's feelings. I even got a phone call saying, well, you this type of person, so you can't do that. Saying that I can't be the person, to say I don't want to do that anymore. The only reason it really kind of touched me is because an issue happened, with somebody passing away recently. So that's what made me be like, oh, well, damn, maybe I did fuck up. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. But then again, like you say, that's not your problem. Yeah. So you can't really be.
Because how people perceive or receive the things that we tell them, that's absolutely not our problem. I mean, as long as your intent isn't, you don't have a malice intent, how they receive it, that don't got nothing to do with you. And I had to learn and accept that because I was big on trying to make sure that it felt good when I said something to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because I was stuck in being a pleaser. You know what I'm saying? But I can see all that can be all fine and good, baby. It can be all sunflowers and rainbows, okay? But you got to feel. You know what I'm saying? We have to hold the accountability piece. Yeah. For real. You have to hold that piece too, because being, you get wrapped up in trying to please people and trying to make people feel good. Like, I know for me, but we ain't gonna be feeling too good if I don't tell the truth. Right. If I don't, because I'm a different person when I'm not able to express myself.
And see, that's my problem. I don't think I've ever been a people pleaser because everybody, like, even with us growing up, everybody always thought I was the mean one. That I said what I always said what I wanted to say. And it wasn't never really to hurt nobody. I'm just going to say what I want to say. If you don't like me no more after that, you just don't like me. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like with me, that's why I say I don't ever feel like I was like a people pleaser, maybe.
This is to
Like
my
a-
closest people, not anybody else.
I don't feel like it was more of a people pleasing type of thing with me, but things do bother me when certain situations happen with certain people.
Mm-hmm.
But then I get this attitude where it's like, well, fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a.
And once that
Yeah.
switch
Yeah.
flip.
So like you said earlier, the switch.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
switch that's in us that make you want to be like, you know. I don't the people pleasing thing. I don't think I ever been there, but I get what you're saying when you talk about like.
I know
people-
for me, it came from certain things, being going too deep.
Yeah.
But I feel like for me,
Mhm.
it came from certain experiences,
Mhm.
certain
That's-
things.
I think
You know
that's
what I'm
where I
saying?
was at too.
Yeah. So I don't think that's naturally probably. I'm not saying it's not naturally because I feel like I am a pleaser. Like
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying?
You wanna make
In
people
all the ways
happy.
that means.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I literally, and some people feel like that's a trauma response, and it very well could be.
Yeah.
Right.
But I
right.
also feel like it don't have to necessarily be tied to trauma to enjoy making other people happy.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm
right,
saying? It just has to be a healthy way of doing it. Don't overexert yourself. You know what I'm
Trying to
saying?
make
Or be
people-
at the detriment of yourself to make people happy. No.
Right, right,
You can
right.
make people happy and still honor every part of your boundaries and what you
Right.
stand for and all that. You know what I'm saying? That's I feel like that's
Mhm.
that's what I had to learn. You know what I'm saying? That was the
Balance.
connect. I just made that connection. That's what I had to learn. I had to learn the balance between the two of those things. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to please and you know what I'm saying, do all of that, but
Yeah.
just don't
Yeah.
let it be at
Because I definitely
the expense of you.
Because there'll be people that'll call me and they'll be like, "This going wrong. I need this," and then immediately I'm like, "Okay, how can I fix it?"
Mhm.
And then I have to be like, "Okay, wait,
Mhm.
this is not your problem."
And see, I don't think
Right.
I've learned that it's not my problem yet. Because somebody can call me and then I'd be like, Mike's probably like, you get on my nerve. Probably he
Mhm.
never say it. But it's just
Mhm.
like, people pissing me off.
It's not talked about
Like,
too. Like
you
the
know what I'm
partners,
saying?
when you have somebody that's like that,
Mhm.
your partner has to deal with a lot with that too.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because they see how we overexerting ourselves sometimes. It's like they want to protect you, but they also understand and accept the fact that this is a part of who this person. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But it is kind of their job to like, that's too much. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's too much. You know.
Yeah. Cause I surely be like, if somebody text me and I start getting mad, and like I was literally strolling just now, but I was like actually reading. He was like, "What's the mad face for?" Or however he said it, and I'm just like, "I'm not mad. I'm just strolling." But it's just because he knows
Mhm.
when
Mhm.
people messaging me, and
Mhm.
probably I don't know how I look. He
Mhm.
knows how I look.
Mhm.
I don't. I'm not aware of that yet.
Mhm.
Or what facial expressions
Yeah.
I make, because I could be talking to somebody and they probably
Yeah.
like, okay, this lady is in disgust. But you know, I'm not there yet
Mhm.
to be like, well, I'll say like to tell somebody like, hey, you need to leave me alone.
You know
Like-
what I started doing? Ignoring it. No, seriously.
Mhm.
I literally had to, and that came from not ignoring it in a bad way. Let me go back and.
But people swear you the
rephrase
bad
that.
person when you do ignore.
Let
something,
me
even
go
if
back and
it's good or
rephrase
bad.
that. It's not ignoring it. It's prioritizing.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because like because recently I've had to shift my booking to people actually booking directly through me,
Mhm.
and it gets overwhelming, overstimulated sometimes. But I had to tell myself, look, you cannot run yourself crazy trying to. You know what I'm saying? Because I do. My household is everything is done by not everything is done by myself because I have a huge support system.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, in my household, you get what I'm saying? I am.
Right.
It's me, baby.
Right.
I'm a huncho. Okay, so you have to
Yeah.
disperse everything. You know, all the responsibilities fall back on me. So I had to learn that it's okay not to be available. Just because you have the time does not mean I am available.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I had to force myself into, because I was, like I said, recently I've came out of a space. You get what I'm saying? So I had to learn that it's okay.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's okay to not be available
Yeah.
even when you are.
As empaths,
And that'll help
and-
with what you feel is triggers and stuff too.
Yeah, and as like servers, people will come to us and present a crisis because they know that we're going to go into crisis mode.
Oh.
But I'm gonna tell you what you do. Wait 24 hours before you respond and see how much of a crisis it is
Mhm.
in 24 hours. And they're like, "Oh, I took care of it. oh, somebody else did it. Okay, well, you need to go to them first.
Every time.
And then come back to me when you ain't got no other options.
Mhm.
Because I got so much other stuff going on.
I think that's where I need to. I have to learn. That's something I need to learn. That their problem is not.
My auntie
your
said
problem.
something one time because I was like, I'm a person that I like. I have a love-hate relationship with being able to hear my phone at night because I have I know that there's something that happened at some point where I missed a phone call or something like that. So now it's like I don't like to miss my phone calls at night. That was a part of me because, baby, there's another part of me who, baby, I don't give a darn about the phone. But my auntie said something one time and she was like, it's not an emergency until I know about it. And I was like,
the truth now. I have to agree with auntie.
You know what? Until I know that it didn't happen, it's not urgent. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, I heard now I'm able to, you know what I'm saying? If I don't hear my phone, baby, I don't hear my phone.
Yeah.
I lose my phone a lot of times. And people think that I'm trying to be mean or that I'm just not. I had to get to a place where that's a whole. I put my phone down and forget about it for hours sometimes. And I have 2 little kids.
Right.
Baby, they be having me by the neck, literally. Okay, no, ma'am. I gotta put that phone down sometimes.
I think, truthfully though, worst case scenario, even if it is life or death, chances are I'm not gonna get there in time. That's just the reality of it. So I hope you call 911 first.
If it's
and
that
then
serious.
notify me. Right. Because chances are I'm not gonna get there in time.
Mm-hmm.
And most case scenario, it's not an emergency. So I can get back to you when I get back to you.
Right.
And we can deal with it then. If I decide that it's my responsibility to deal with it.
So question. Okay.
Right.
But that's a good thing. Let me say. What methods did you guys find best for healing in your healing state?
Healing.
I can go first.
Okay, go ahead.
If you need.
I was ready to go. So whoever
You ready? Go.
No, you go ahead.
So mine pretty much was finding out what it was. Because I didn't know what anxiety was until I had like anxiety and stuff like that. So my healing, the methods that I used was like breathing techniques, yoga. I was really heavy. I got heavy into it. And then once I felt healed, I stopped, which I feel like was a bad idea.
That's what I mean. Preventative measures, routines.
So I feel like once
Right.
I felt better, I stopped. And I feel like that's where I messed up with my healing process. So
and that's okay.
I feel like you said, if I get that routine back, I could probably feel more purposeful, more fulfilled in what I, in what I am doing or what I am going for. Yeah. So that's pretty. Yeah.
So you feel like breathing and like
yoga and just being outside and
because you're releasing energy. You get what I'm saying? Because you are so receptive, because you receive so much, you have to have a dumping process. You get what I'm saying? You have to have, aside from a dumping process, I feel like you have to have a protection process in place as well. And for me, I'm currently in a spiritual mentorship. And so I am learning that you have to be able to, because I'm trying to make this connection, sorry. But like, it has to be a flow. You get what I'm saying? Because you're receiving so much, you're pulling in so much, you know what I'm saying? Naturally, you have to, it got to go somewhere. If it doesn't go somewhere, it's going to cause a disruption. You get what I'm saying? It's going to cause blockages. It's going to cause, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel like, sorry, I forgot where I was going with that, but I feel like you need that little piece of message right there. For real, I feel like you need that little piece right there. Yeah. Johnny, who's next on the
I'm next, okay. I think for me, I just started seeking more knowledge, more information. So for me, like once I have like the facts that I can kind of reverse engineer or put systems into place. So I noticed, I think for me, I guess it would technically be like shutting down, but as an empath, we feeling people. So I'll just like either put on a song that I really like or watch a movie, a feel good movie that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
And then that kind of centers me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I go to the gym, I'm still listening to music. So I think music and movies kind of really center me along with, like I said. And I also listen to like podcasts and other like-minded individuals having conversations like this. So I think actually what really like catapulted me into like the person that I am now was I did find a podcast where people, or it was actually 5 Black men that were having conversations like this, and it kind of just set me on a real good path.
How do you all deal with setbacks?
You can go first.
Okay, I'm gonna do this one.
I'm gonna do that.
No. So for me, I've learned to look at it and see what is this trying to teach me. You get what I'm saying? What is this preventing? What is this like? You know what I'm saying? I try to find the silver lining, I guess you would say. Because if I don't have a reason to be going through all this crap I'm going through, baby, I'm not gonna understand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get caught up in the physical part of it. And I feel like a lot of times it's not about the physical part of the setback. It's not about the fact that I didn't get what I said I wanted. It's not about the immediate, you know what I'm saying? It's about the overall, you know? Because I recently just went through a lot. I had a bunch of different hits from different directions all at one time. And I was like, I was not, you know what I'm saying? And I think the fact that from the beginning of it, from even in the darkest moments, but I feel like because at the beginning of it, I said from the beginning that if I handle this properly, this will benefit me in the long run. You get what I'm saying? Right. If I stay focused, you know what I'm saying? This setback will be very minor. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I feel like that's how I at least try to. I won't say that I handle every setback the same way, but I feel like for the most part, I try to learn from it and make it a better situation. You know what I'm saying? Because life be lifing sometimes.
I don't handle setbacks very well. So I try my best not to even sit back. I try my best not to even focus on. I could see my setback before it's coming. So I'm already prepared. I'm like, what I gotta do? I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta. So I'm already there. So when it touch, I'm already handled. It's already handled. Yeah. So, but I always try my best not to. For the last couple of years, I really haven't really had like too many like major setbacks that was out of my control that I didn't see coming or whatever. Because I already got this anxious brain. So I already know with that. It's there. So,
and I mean, I'm
I was gonna say, it's I be trying not to make it. You know.
Try not to overload.
Yeah.
All right. So I think for the most part, I try to start with not looking at it as a setback. And just kind of looking at it as, okay, that wasn't particularly for me the way that I wanted it to be for me. Not necessarily saying that I'm not going to get what I wanted to get. That just wasn't the avenue that I needed to take. And then aside from that, I just kind of I adjust as the situation changes. So it's really no time for me to set back because I move as the situation changes. So I adjust my plan as it changes. So if this particular thing don't work out, okay, where do we go from here? If this particular thing,
I feel like I learned a little bit of that from you.
Yeah. So
not saying that I already didn't do it, but I feel like I learned that from you. I feel like that was something that I learned from having a friendship with you. Is that it's okay if it don't happen how you think it's supposed to happen.
Yeah. So just keep going.
Just keep going. You do for real. No, seriously, you are very. So one of my friends said this to me one time, and I never saw myself as this, but it was helpful for her to say that to me. She was like, "You are one of the most resilient people that I know," and I was just like, You know what I mean? Because I never thought of it like that. My only
Right.
thing is I have to keep going.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I cannot stop.
Right.
And I feel like all three of us sitting here on this, you know what I'm saying, on this panel today, I feel like all of us are that same way. I feel like no matter what happens, it's not stopping nothing, baby.
Right.
It's not stopping nothing.
Yeah. Because I might some tough shit.
Right.
And I literally was just like, it's no way.
It's no way I'm making out of this.
Yeah, like it's
all right, I done ran out of luck.
What they said, a well has ran dry completely. So I just don't. So I'm telling you, so I know.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely know.
Mm-hmm. Resilience is a good trait to have, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you have to. Life is ever changing. Nothing. People say it all the time. It's become kind of cliche now, but. Change really is the most constant thing in the world. Like, seriously, you're always going to have to deal with change.
And I think with our personality types, that's what makes us so resilient, is because we're naturally adaptive. So we're able to kind of maneuver.
I feel like I'm a pretty flexible person. Within reason, baby. Within reason, baby. I'm more flexible than others. I say that.
Or what I want to be flexible on. We're just going to say that.
You decide on what you're
because, baby, I could be a little stern when I need
to. I think it just depends on where you are at the moment, what you're going through.
Yeah.
If you're going to be stern or, you know, it's situational at the end of the day. So I guess that's kind of where we all are when it comes to like you said, like being resilient and stuff like that.
Yeah. We done went through I feel like all three of us have went through what we could have never even imagined it happening or us going through certain things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we all made it out beautifully. I feel like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I really do. And I feel like the knowledge that we've all gained from all of the things that we went through and how we are applying it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I tell y'all all the time. I try to tell y'all all the time. I am so proud of y'all and in us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Seriously, because I do. Me and Nick go back a little bit further. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like even with that,
this girl was
you know what I'm saying?
4 years old.
Like we was on the dirt roads together, right. Walking to the corner store, going, you know what I'm saying, going to Miss Evelyn, to the candy lady. For real. But I feel like, you know, to see us now and to see where we are now and to see, you know what I'm saying, the internal growth. Because I feel like that's more important than anything. Yeah. That's more important than anything materialistically that we could have is to grow. You know what I'm saying? Because some of us have lost this along the way. You know what I'm saying? And life can do that to you. Life really can do that to you. And especially if you're not self-aware, if you're not intentional, if you're not, you know what I'm saying? Because I have a little spirit of procrastination.
Ooh, Jesus. That's why, Jesus. And that comes with the people like us.
Yeah.
Because I be needing a break sometimes. I be needing to just, you know, let me stretch my arms out a little bit. Right. You know, but it's like, okay, Johnny, no, I call him and be like, okay, Johnny, friend, I gotta talk to you about this. I know what you're finna tell me, but he is the way that other people need, you know, the way that other people not use me, but the other way that I impact other people, that is how Johnny impacts me. He kind of brings me back into, you know, because I be, friend, you know, it's like sometimes I fight with, now you know better. Now you know better than that. But I talked to Johnny about it.
Definitely gotta call when I need a second opinion.
I've called Johnny and confided in him before. Or whatever. Because it's like, it's other people that I feel like I should be able to confide in about certain stuff. But it's like, what you gonna... I might be putting you too much in my business or something like that. So it's kind of scary for me to actually confide in people about certain situations because it's kind of like.
And also too, you're that person for a lot of people. So it's hard to do it when you're that for other people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, there's no way that, you know, we don't say it like that, but in our mind, it's like, we have to keep up this, you know what I'm saying?
Persona, yeah.
And it's like, baby, that's why
I have a sidebar, so it's gonna be quick.
No, you
So for us, I don't know if it's just me, but what annoys me is like, I don't get in trouble. But anyway, so like when certain people like you said, we have our people that we feel comfortable going to for whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get somebody that's like, oh, you know, like what's going on, and then they try to be you to you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
they try to
like,
be you, yeah. Mm-hmm.
This ain't.
I'm not receiving the message.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
At all. The message ain't messaging.
Yeah.
At all.
I'm
And
like,
see what I think that's where it comes from, because I don't want to sound cocky.
Yeah.
But it's nobody like me. Ain't nobody like me. You can't help me like I can help you. I can't come to you for what you come to me for.
Right.
So, in general, I can't, because some of the people that call me about their issues and the things that happen, I've been there technically before. Semi. Because why would you be calling me if you thought I wasn't that person?
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I be feeling like a lot of times people can't help me. So it's like I can't call certain people. I know for a fact you never been through that.
Mm-hmm.
For a fact. Not because I ain't seen it, but I know for a fact. Or you don't have no knowledge of that situation.
And I think too, like, people don't, for me personally, like how she's saying, it's like more, it's more mental than it is like physical. Like, it could be somebody that has been through the same thing that Ja has been through, but I'm gonna go to Ja because the way her brain works, her perception on life is similar to the way I perceive life. Right. And people don't understand. They just feel like, oh well, yeah.
It's not there.
I just can't. We're not looking into it.
It's like, no.
But yeah, it's just
certain people are meant for certain things. That's like certain, like all your friendships are different. Mm-hmm. You have friends that are for different things. You know what I'm saying? And that is okay. I feel like, you know, when we were growing up, we were coming up, you know, all your friends had to be the same. You know what I'm saying? They all were supposed to, you always supposed to, and that's not how life is.
Right.
You have certain people in your life for certain reasons. I have accepted my place as the reliable friend and not the everyday friend, baby. I promise you, I will be the one that you call when life is doing it to you, baby. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, when life is spanking you, baby. But do not call me every day. Do not call me every day. Do not text me every day. I cannot do it. Yeah. I have certain people that I can do, I can talk to every day. And I'm glad that my friends understand that about me. They know that there's no love lost if we ain't talked in 2 days. We ain't talked in 2 weeks. If we ain't talked in 3 days. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just not that kind of friend, baby. I can't do it every day.
And that's my thing, because I be feeling like recently, I've gained a couple more people or whatever that come around me a little bit more. But I don't think they understand me. Because I'm like, baby, I'm not that person. Right. I don't mind talking to you every day. But I don't be wanting to like.
And people know. I don't want to people know when you're that type of person that pour into people and they be needing their cup filled every day. But like, I ain't got enough juice. Yeah. Today. But I'm running on 10%. Maybe I got enough for me.
I definitely be feeling like, I'd be like, well, what if I don't answer and then they do got something really, really going on?
That's not your problem.
That's not your problem. I gotta get out of that. That's not my problem stage, because I'll be like, okay, because I don't mind sitting on the phone with you, but then I don't be talking. I just be sitting there like a darn fool because I don't be having nothing to say.
I know when it's time to wrap it up. I know when it's time to wrap it up with Johnny, because Johnny, he make like this little face and he get quiet. He's like, The responses get shorter. It's time to wrap it up. I done gave you my advice. What you gonna do with it is what you gonna do with it. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. It's time to wrap this song up.
I think...
And you have to do that with me, because if not, baby, I would drag something out.
I think, too, though, for us, like... I think we're also evolving in our gifts as, you know, people and as servers. So I think now we're getting to that place where we're understanding that every problem ain't my problem. I can't control if you use the information or not. You know, I don't get to determine how this situation plays out for you. So now for me, I had to learn to, I say, my agreement that I made with God is that I am responsible for the information and getting them the information. After that, I let go because I can't. It's as an empath, it's going to tear me apart to watch you do the exact opposite of what I told you to do, or what the educational advice that I gave you, and you do the complete opposite, or you just don't listen at all, or you're just calling me to hear yourself talk, and that because that's a lot as somebody who's going to internalize everything that you say.
Yes.
So I've learned to just what do you need in this moment? So like when people call me with mental health stuff, logically, what can you do to prevent getting into these episodes? Or, how can you pull yourself out of these? Because I'm giving you the facts. Because we can sit here and do the feelings thing all day, but it's not going to help you. Right. So I try to, because I know, and I know me too, I'm going to burn out on this conversation. Yeah. So I'm going to give you the facts real quick so we can get that out of the way. And
you're not an emotional person. I say that to you all the time. He's not an and I need that because I am an emotional person. And I don't mean that as far as like people, when you think of an emotional person, think about it that's crying all the time, or they angry all the time, or they, whatever. I am an emotional person as far as how I perceive things. I perceive things by how it feels. I'm a feeling person. I'm an intimate person. You get what I'm saying? So for me, I need somebody, or I need something that is facts, because that's how my brain works. Right. My brain works through facts, paperwork, tangible evidence. Right. I need something that I know for, you know what I'm saying? But I receive the world through my emotions. You get what I'm saying? So I have to be able to like bring it back. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't, baby, I drift off because I deal with anxiety also. Right. A lot of it. I have social anxiety as well. Like I have, you know what I'm saying? But I'm the one that I feel like I use alternative methods or practices in order to, you know what I'm saying? At least alternative for what most people would do or go to. And thankfully for me, I found that nature has to play a big part in my life, because if it does not, I can't function. I have to be able to so even for me, sometimes coming to Florida, for me, just being in this energy sometimes, I need it. You know what I'm saying? I need the fact that this state is surrounded by water. Right. Water is very important for me and how I, you know what I'm saying, move and how facilitate through life. You know what I'm saying? I have to have time in nature. I'm barefoot Contessa, baby. I'm out the door with no shoes on. I need that time. Yeah.
I think it's just sporty. I'm just
it probably is. I grew up on dirt roads, baby. But at the same, I have to have that time. Yeah. Where I literally connect with nature. But that's a real thing, though.
I went there to drop my daughter off. And I left. And I ain't have no shoes on. Literally. I done went all the way to town, y'all. I tell Marcus, I'm like, I'm at the dollar store.
I ain't got no shoes on.
I'm literally parked because I wanted to get out. I'm like, hold on, wait, I'm at the dollar store, but I ain't got no shoes.
Being a Virgo, we are earthy people, though. You have to honor that part of yourself.
I way to town with no shoes. I'm like,
and that's okay. That is okay. Shoot. That's how you felt that day.
I said, but Lord, I can't be one of the people that walk inside the store and not have no shoes. So it was so funny to me because I was like, oh my God, I'm just going to go back home. Because I literally was like, how did I make it all the way to town? No shoes. No shoes in my car.
That's just why I messed up that, baby, because I got a closet in the car.
Maybe I need to do that. I messed up the other day.
No, don't do that because that creates mess.
I mean, at least one pair, in my trunk, because I'm telling you, that was I think my first time ever doing that the other day. But like I said, I did have a rough week.
You probably needed that.
Everybody really forgot my shoes, really forgot them. So that's where I'm at with it. Like maybe I just too much on my brain. It just didn't I can't believe that I did that though, because I'm like, what if something would have happened or emergency? I literally had no shoes. No shoes in my car.
Well, it would have just had to be handled how it was.
With my shoes on.
Shoeless.
Police would have pulled me over there. Are you on drugs, man? You don't have shoes. Step out the car, ma'am. No shoes. I'm sorry, I can't do that.
Ain't it like illegal or something like that if you drive no shoes on? I don't think you're supposed to.
I don't know. They that business.
Because why aren't you in here? Why? How do you know I ain't got no shoes on?
Oh my goodness, that was tough. That was yeah. Man. That's why I said maybe that's a 40 thing because ain't no way.
I think just short recap.
Mm-hmm.
The logic helps me pull myself out of those situations.
Yes.
Because I'm like, okay, what's the facts? Okay, boom, boom, boom. Okay, it's not as bad as I think it is. Like the feeling ain't.
Yeah,
it's real, but it's not real. It's not as bad as I feel like it is. So I think that helps.
Because feelings will make you think something is one. Because just because you feel disrespected don't mean I actually disrespect you.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm
it's
saying?
The way you perceived it.
That's true.
Yes.
You know, I'm a Black person. You grew up in a Black household, baby.
Yeah.
Anything is disrespect.
Okay.
Please.
That's how I know where we get that from. But so, question: is it better to isolate or be in company when you're going through these things? I want to say like the traumas, the life be lifing. Like
I feel like it depends. I feel like there needs to be a little bit of both. I feel like I feel like there needs to be a little bit of both, and there's a balance of it because I'm a person that I need space. If I'm going through something, like, although there are certain people that I need them to be around me when I'm going through stuff because they kind of, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, even them, I have to have space from. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you have to have time you need people to love on you and replenish you and help you, you know what I'm saying? Ground you in those moments. But at the same time, you need time to feel for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You need time to feel for yourself and figure it out for yourself. Because I used to like, not saying that I don't want to make it seem, because I always make my own decisions. But I needed to hear how you took it, and how you took it. I'ma still do what I want to do, but I need to hear all three of y'all opinion first. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm not so much like that. You know what I'm saying? Now for the most part, I can kind of just make the decision. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, I'm gonna get aggravated with trying to. If I try to keep going through something, I'm gonna get. You know what I'm saying? So let's just get on with it.
Yeah.
So for me, I would say the same. Probably in like the first couple of days, I probably process it because I think that's very important too. Like, don't skip to the solution. Like, actually allow yourself to feel it and work through it the best you can, I guess. And then I think I'll reach out to people that I feel like are going to actually be helpful with, getting a second opinion on how I perceive something or to help me work through it. So I think like-minded people would be good company because, like, naturally I am a people person, just selectively versus being around somebody who's just gonna completely ignore the feelings and try to speed me through the healing process. Because I think too, like, even because I know we do it all the time, like, or I call John, I'd be like, okay, so the last couple of days I've been going through something, right?
Right.
Because at that point I can laugh about it. Or like I'll call and she'll be like, oh, what's going on? I'd be like, oh, nothing. And we'll just like sit on the phone and talk about everything but nothing at the same time. And it's just,
it's just our way of releasing
just being in the company. So I think both have their place. It's just like I said about balance and figuring out what works best for you.
I don't know. I'm a little skittish, if that's what I want to call it. Like, I don't know. I don't really trust people.
I go through things by myself, but I also have learned to appreciate the genuine people and the people that really should be there. I appreciate them.
Because I be feeling like if I tell you, I don't want you to tell auntie, cousin, uncle, husband, wife, nobody my business. If I called you, I called you. So that's why I feel like I more so self-isolate.
Yeah, definitely.
If I told you, I told you.
Yeah. But I've gotten to a point where I've realized that I like to be an open book. You know what I'm saying? I like to be open about whatever's going on in my life. I like to be able to say whatever, do whatever. So I realized that I have to trust the people that I have around me. And if I don't trust you, I can't have you around me because I then can't be who I am.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And for a long time, I feel like my personality I wasn't reaching who I really was because I wasn't able to be who I was because I didn't trust people. And the version of me that I am when I trust you and the version of me that I am when I don't trust you are two totally different people. Because the version of me when I don't trust you, I'm very guarded. I'm very stern. It's not a whole bunch of the goofiness. You know what I'm saying? It's not a whole bunch of that. It's straight to the point, direct. It's business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when I trust you, I'm goofy. I'm all over the place. You see a totally different version of me. You know what I'm saying? So I think that plays a part in it too.
Right.
It's not anybody. I can't be around anybody when I'm going through something.
Right.
But the people that I trust, I need them. I need them around me because I do need to feel the love. I do need to feel, you know what I'm saying? But
I understand.
I don't like anybody in my business. So if you don't hear from me.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so crazy because I can say not even up until today, like, because I'm the same way. Like, I don't have a lot of secrets, and I think I learned that very early on that people use that against you. So I tried to just get ahead of it. But I think every like secret, that I've had, and I have told somebody, they've told somebody else. So that let me know, okay, well, bitch, don't tell nobody, nobody nothing that you
came from me hearing my business from other people,
I don't know,
baby.
maybe I'm just weird like this.
But I mean, the reality of it is you told them because you trusted them, but they trust somebody else.
Yeah.
So it's human nature, which is why if you don't want nobody to know, don't tell nobody.
Right.
So I feel like, cause even now, like, cause me and you, we talk, but we haven't talked about certain things.
Right.
So at this current moment, I feel like the only person that probably knows every detail is John. Because I feel like half the time she be in her own world. She don't care no way.
Listen. Y'all, please don't, please people, anybody that's watched this podcast and know me and may have at some point felt some type of way, baby. I literally do really be in my own world for real. And it's not against anybody. And when I don't be knowing certain things that be going on in the world, I intentionally don't know stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's because of the fact that like I receive too much. I can't be accessible. I cannot be easily accessible because of the fact that if I am, it's too much for me.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to take on too much. I'm trying to do too much. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? And no, that's so it don't be nothing against nobody. But Johnny would tell you something be right in my face, and I promise you. You hear how people got selective hearing, baby. I got selective seeing. For real.
So last but not least, what are your perspectives on mental health when it comes to you and dealing with other people overall? Just what helps you, mentally, physically, what some things that you guys need, or let's say you want from other people, because we never talk about what we want from our friends or our family. We just be like, oh, I just need.
Yeah.
So what is those mental health things, like your perspective on what you want and not so much of what you need?
What I want is for everybody to do the work. And it's not for me, it's for you. Trust me, it's for you.
Okay, life coach.
I feel like, no, seriously though, because I feel like
it is important. It is important for real. You got to do the work.
It's conversations that we can't have that will actually help you because you don't understand the language or you're not open to the language. And I think that just comes with being self-aware and being the best version of yourself. If I'm the best version of myself, I can help you. If you're the best version of yourself, you can help me, and we can dialogue a lot better and get more accomplished if we understand each other.
Got it.
Because I think a lot of people run from but I'll just say mental health in general. A lot of people run from mental health in general.
When you hear it, it has like a negative connotation too, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it kind of like, it don't sound good when you talk about mental health. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, people ask me all the time, like, how could you talk about anxiety? Like, what you mean? Like, I'm not afraid anymore. I used to be. I'm not going to lie. When people talked about it, it scared me. Like you said, it's the condensation of saying the word. But when you dissect it to anxiety, depression, all that type of stuff like that, all of it kind of is negative. So when you do hear it,
perspective wise though,
right?
Yeah. But if you start looking at it as indicators rather than triggers, or if you start looking at it as, you know what I'm saying, you shift the focus, I feel like then at that point it opens you up to a better conversation than in a cause and effect type situation. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm like this because you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And more so of just looking at it as it was a part of what had to happen in order for this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It had to, all of the things that have happened. And sometimes we have a tendency to hold on to things and let them fester.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
So it then becomes a sore. You get what I'm saying? It then becomes something that hurts.
It. Yeah.
Rather than let it come in, identify it, see it for what it is, and let it go.
And I think too, there needs to be more emphasis on the fact that mental health is a response to something. So it's just like I said, it's an indicator. So it's not necessarily the issue, the experience that you went through that triggered the mental health response was more so the bad thing, but you learned to work through it. So you can't blame the the effect of the cause when the cause is the culprit.
I feel like too, we have to understand, I know for me, this is one of the bigger things that I'm focusing on in life, is that my spiritual foundation can fix everything that's going on in my life.
Yeah.
Whether it be monetary, whether it be relationships, whether it be my physical reality. If my spiritual foundation is solid, I can take on anything. You know what I'm saying? I can deal with anything. I can maneuver through anything because of the fact that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So even if it don't look good, even if it don't feel good, you know what I'm saying? I know that I'm protected. I'm blessed. I'm guarded. You know what I'm saying? Like I've learned to find the beauty in everything because it get real crazy over here. You know, if you allow your mind to, it get real dark. It can get real dark. And I feel like you have to shift your mindset and perspective. You know what I'm saying? To understanding that it is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Right.
And if I want better, I gotta do better. If I want things to be different, I gotta do different.
Right.
It's law of attraction. It's pretty simple. You know what I'm saying? You be what your physical reality shows you is what you are doing. Bottom line, your relationships and how people deal with you is what you are doing. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like what's going on in your life, I bet you the common denominator, first of all, is you. First and foremost. And after that, fix it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it don't got to be fixed immediately. It can be a slow thing. Because I feel like a lot of us, we want instant gratification.
Yeah.
A lot of times. You know what I'm saying? We want it to be changed right now and see the effects of it changing and happening right now. But that's not what it is always. Right. Because if it happens fast, it might not last. You know what I'm saying? So
I like that. If it happens fast, it might not last.
I'm gonna pour it on the side.
So definitely.
Yes, but I really did enjoy this conversation with you guys.
So what do you feel like you want?
What I want? I don't know. I instant gratification. I wanted to. I don't like going through stuff.
You know what's gonna happen? You're gonna keep going through stuff
because
you don't
feel like I shouldn't have to go through stuff.
Yeah.
The stuff be stuffy.
I don't like
stuff.
stuff.
And so I don't like stuff.
Me either.
My whole thing is...
Especially when you're a doer and a fixer.
Right. So when it comes down to me, the stuff, I don't like the stuff.
But it makes you face it.
Yes.
You got to face it though. You got to.
So that's where I am. I want to find an outlet where I am actually comfortable with knowing that I don't want to say communicating. I don't like talking to people about certain things. So I want to find like a better outlet or a better foundation for me to be able to. Well, yeah, that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I want to find something that specifically can.
That is important.
Help me.
Journaling.
Yeah,
that's definitely
because I feel like you are a talker though.
Yeah.
In the right environment, you get what I'm saying. I feel like unfortunately, in whatever ways things have happened to where I feel like you've kind of like, you know what I mean? Put yourself in a shell. Yeah. You said it. No, but for real, because I feel like that's not who you really are.
Yeah. And I think
it's not who you really are.
She was saying like she intentionally places people in her life that she can be open and honest with, because that is life changing to say the least.
Yeah,
but I'd hate to get rowdy with someone.
Yeah,
so like I can tell you something and I get mad because it's just like, so I just be like, let me just not say anything. If I even think that you're gonna say something about what I say,
okay,
you know what I'm saying? Because I can tell you something really, really personal, like really, and then I really wanted that. Because when I had anxiety, like I used to get mad if somebody be like, oh, whatever, or they say something about it when I talk to them about it. And that used to bother me, because why would you say that in front of people?
That's the part. But do you accept it though?
I do. Now I do, but I don't tell nobody. Well, I talk openly about it. But like I said, now I'm okay with it. But back then, no, I wasn't.
But it was a part of. But once you accepted it, it's different. You know what I'm saying? That's so true. That was more so of the issue. You get what I'm saying? More of the issue was that you didn't accept it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why you didn't talk to people about it. But now that you accept it, it's a little bit different. But you also, like you said, you got to be mindful of the people that you have around you. You have to have people that genuinely care about you and pour into you the same way that you do for other people. And those are the only kind of people that you can have around you. Because of the fact that, you know what I'm saying? You do have certain things that you deal with, and you have to have people that understand that. You know what I'm saying? Even though, yes, you have to be able to work through it and work around it in different adaptive situations, but your regular everyday people got to be people that you trust. That's just the bottom line. And anybody else, they get a version of you that you're willing to give them.
For us, it's important because, like, just hypothetically speaking, because I think the majority of the people that are like in my community are female. So say, for instance, you came to me, you was like, hey, it's something that I'm dealing with, whatever. And it was something that I didn't particularly know a lot about. Like, I would feel comfortable as somebody, even if I didn't say your name, I'd be like, hey, like, this is a situation. Like, how do you feel about that? Or like, what insight could you give? But you probably don't have people that you would feel comfortable. That's why, but it is important to have those people that you can just dialogue with, and people like that aren't gonna ask a million questions trying to figure out who business that they like. Who they get on?
Not everybody ain't like that. There's some people like, well, who it was? Who you?
Yeah, like
me. I ask questions, but I promise you, anybody else gonna know because I don't even talk to nobody.
Right.
That's why, like, honestly, like Johnny said, baby, you could tell me all you want to tell me because either I probably might forget.
Yeah,
I do that a lot too. After Shrimp Baby churn to my brain cells because I'm very.
I ain't gonna lie, because he done said some stuff to me before, and I be like, and then we'll be around each other, and I'll be acting like I'm retarded, but I be forgetting, like I literally like it. Just I know you said it, I just don't remember.
Trauma causes that too.
Yeah,
different traumatic events and things that you go through mentally can also cause you to have like memory lapses. Like for real, you really don't remember.
It's some stuff in my life that I feel like I don't know if I blocked it out intentionally or
because
I real deal don't remember.
Because it's certain things about certain things.
And I be like, am I really just like?
Did I forget that for real?
Like, yeah. Okay, so that's where I do have an issue with that because it really do be like, did you really forget that? Like, did you really?
But meditation and journaling and stuff like that brings stuff like that back too, because it brings it back up.
I think
it's subconscious too.
Good to leave.
Certain things is good. Yeah,
my brain or something, and because it could be a smell, thing like or whatever. I see something And it'll come back up and I'll be like, well, maybe that's why I forgot about it. But it comes back at me, like, you know. So, yeah.
Certain things meant to be compartmentalized and certain things. But sometimes it's good for it to come up for the time being.
Yeah.
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 Well, you know what it is. It's a wrap on Evolve. We out.